Greetings all! Today, we will be examining the relatively rare flying fighting type Pokemon Flamigo, the Synchronize Pokémon. While they might look a tad silly to many at first glance, Flamigo are potent fighters that can make good use of their legs and agile bodies to deliver powerful blows that many might not see coming.
Flamigo have a body form that is very similar to that of normal flamingos, with a rounded torso and small wings covered in pink feathers, the legs being extremely thin and white in color, with just a small set of flat three-toed white feet for locomotion. They have a semi-tubular head with a white face and black curved beak, as well as black eyes and yellow sclera, where the long neck is tied in a knot where it meets their torso. Flamigo are not that far removed from normal birds, and thus share a very similar lifestyle as traditional flamingos, with a diet mainly of small creatures that dwell in freshwater ponds and wetlands, that also in turn give them their characteristic color. As far as combat goes, this is all the same, as they do not learn a great deal of attacks outside the normal and flying types for them to make use of. However, what can be said that makes them different on the inside is that these beasts have elastic leg muscles that allow them to deliver potent kicking attacks to make use of the flying type attributes to at least some degree early on, and they are known to be brimming with energy in their stomach that makes them far more agile and durable than most would otherwise think. Most of this energy comes from them processing their food, however, and can easily escape their bodies through their necks and throats, so in order to keep said energy contained, these creatures naturally tie their necks in a loose knot that can allow small food and liquids to get through, but the energy of their internal gases and other internal liquids is kept inside. It is not entirely clear how this works though, so more research is needed to fully understand their odd anatomy.
What really helps these birds to stand out from a crowd, oddly enough, is the fact that they enjoy being in crowds because it allows these beasts to make the most of their social behavior, which has been coined synchronizing.
In essence, when more than one of these beasts are present, and this is quite often as they rarely travel outside of small groups of 5 members or so, they will actively mimic the actions of each other without even thinking. This means that if one of them feeds, they all feed, and if one of them attacks something, they will all attack the same target in the exact same manner and in the same time frame. It is not entirely certain how they are able to perfectly mimic and copy the movements of other flamingo in real time, but it has been hypothesized that it might simply be a behavioral act, fueled by scent that their bodies can quickly pick up on without even thinking, sort of like an involuntary reflex. Regardless, it makes confronting groups of these beasts in the wild a bit difficult, and given that those who are particularly talented at this can possess the unique co-star ability as a hidden ability, which copies the stat changes of a partner Pokemon as soon as they enter into a multi-Pokemon battle, it can be said that they can have some decent use to them if properly raised and trained. This is further demonstrated in their tenacious attitude towards fighting everything that gets too close to them, and their capacity to use fancy legwork to make them harder to hit if they get confused, possessing scrappy and tangled fetus-based abilities respectively, and while they might not seem all that dangerous to most others, they can still move around with decent speed and stamina, and hit decently hard with their attacks at their disposal, their base HP and attack stats being above average for a fully evolved flying type Pokemon, and the base special attack and speed stats being above average for a fully evolved fighting type Pokemon, giving them at least a bit of a leg up on the competition.
I'm not entirely sure what to make of these birds, to be honest here. On the one hand, they can actually prove to be decent fighters in the right circumstances, and can make great use of their co-star ability of Accessible to help beef up their own stats in the case of fighting with a partner. But at the same time, their stilted movements and vacant stares make me chuckle a bit. Still, this is nothing to take away from the unique mix of moves at their disposal of these birds, and there's a lot here to be wary of if you can't overpower them. Thankfully, they don't have the best defenses, so this is more than possible. Just don't get lost in the vacant stare, or they might just kick the crap out of you the moment you let your guard down around them.
Although their colorful forms might seem to be all show and little else, Flamigo are not to be trifled with unprepared for the potent moves they can get access to over time. You might not be able to make the most of them outside of multi-Pokemon battles, but at the very least, they can still make for great pets if you don't mind them roaming freely most of the time.
Just do yourself a favor, and try not to get too close to them if they're not on their own, as a group of these birds can easily put the hurt on anyone that starts them with synchronized kicks that few others can match.
Thank you all for watching this video. It always brings me great joy to see others enjoying the work I do to try and make the world of Pokemon and the fascinating creatures that lay inside of it feel as real as they possibly can. If you really enjoy my work, please feel free to leave a comment and subscribe, as I always do my best to respond to any and all comments that are left on my videos. In addition, if you wish to learn more about my work and help support it, you can find links to my Patreon page, as well as email and other contact information to my work on DeviantArt in the video description down below. Furthermore, you can find a link to my Discord server there as well if you'd like to get a first glimpse at what videos are coming up next and converse with other fans of the world of Pokemon. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and have a wonderful rest of your day.